In the jungle, tanks don't dominate. They survive, blind, heavy, and exposed beneath a ceiling of green.
Jungle Canopy collapses the battlefield, hiding threats, masking movement, and shrinking reaction time. In jungle terrain, routes are scarce, and every route becomes a predictable trap. Heavy armor meets the jungle's simplest weapon, saturated soil that steals speed and control. Even small soft spots can immobilize a tank, turning armor into a static target.
Jungle infrastructure is fragile, and heavy vehicles often cannot cross without extreme risk.
Waterways can cut armored maneuver into isolated pockets, slowing tempo and narrowing options. In the jungle, long-range gunnery becomes irrelevant. Contact often begins at breath distance. Curves and bends become lethal geometry, perfect for close-range attacks from concealment. Jungle acoustics distort distance, making it harder to locate threats by sound and easier for enemies to hide movement.
Heat and humidity challenge optics, electronics, and reliability. Small failures become big consequences.
Constant rain reduces traction, visibility, and sensor performance, turning every movement into a gamble. Heavy vehicles leave signatures, tracks that advertise direction, speed, and intent.
In humid heat, fuel logistics intensify. Every resupply becomes a vulnerability. Jungle maintenance is constant, because mud, water, and heat accelerate wear on every moving part.
Dense vegetation restricts turning and repositioning, making it hard to face threats quickly.
Even turret rotation can be obstructed by vegetation, terrain, and the sheer tightness of jungle corridors.
When a tank stops in the jungle, it risks becoming predictable, fixed in place with limited escape routes. Jungle combat compresses distance, giving ambushers more chances to strike from cover. Ground hazards in jungle terrain are difficult to spot because the environment hides everything, including danger.
In the jungle, armor confidence fades, replaced by discipline, caution, and constant scanning.
Tanks in jungle warfare depend heavily on nearby infantry to reduce blind spots and prevent surprise contact.
Communication becomes harder when visibility is short and sound is swallowed by vegetation.
The jungle breaks lines and landmarks. Navigation becomes slow, careful, and exhausting.
Supply and support vehicles are forced into the same narrow corridors. One blockage can halt the entire column.
If a tank bogs down, recovery in jungle terrain is slow, risky, and painfully visible. Heat stress degrades performance, slow decisions, slower reactions, and fatigue that compounds every hour. In the jungle, the environment fights back. Pests, infection risk, and constant discomfort erode readiness. Guns designed for long-range dominance struggle when there's no clear line to fire through.
Dense vegetation and close-range angles increase unpredictability. Shots can deflect, fragment, or create unexpected hazards.
Cheap drones exploit canopy gaps, finding tanks where human eyes can't.
In the jungle, camouflage must work at close range, from above and under changing light.
Moisture can blur thermal clarity, but heat sources still stand out, especially when vehicles idle too long.
In jungle warfare, emission and movement discipline help reduce detection windows.
Jungle conditions stress electronics. Water intrusion and corrosion threats never stop.
In tight terrain, size becomes a disadvantage. Easy to spot, hard to hide, harder to maneuver. When shots are close and angles are tight, small mistakes become immediate losses.
Jungle fighting forces crews to manage secondary hazards. Tight spaces amplify risk when impacts occur.
The canopy hides, but gaps reveal. Rivers, clearings, and roads become surveillance windows.
In jungles, tanks lose their greatest strengths, speed, sight, and distance, while every weakness becomes deadly.
When contact happens, escape routes are few, and reversing can be as dangerous as advancing.
Heavy vehicles reverse slowly, making withdrawal under pressure a high-risk maneuver.
Overhead cover helps concealment, but it also confines movement, turning the route into a funnel.
Even basic viewing systems struggle. Fogging and rain can reduce clarity at the worst moment.
Power bursts reveal position. Sound and vibration can travel further than you expect.
Obstacles force delays, and delays in jungle warfare can be more dangerous than contact itself.
Every forced stop extends exposure, giving hidden threats more time to observe and choose their moment. Fuel, parts, and food move slower in jungle terrain, stretching supply lines and limiting operational reach.
Air resupply can help, but it creates predictable points, clearings that attract attention.
Jungle terrain complicates evacuation and recovery. Time stretches when every meter is difficult. At night, the jungle becomes deeper. Distances vanish, and every sound feels close. Light discipline matters, because even a small glow can betray position in black jungle night. Darkness hides the eye, not the heat. Thermal sensing changes what hidden means. Sensors can be advanced, but they still need sightlines, and the jungle denies them. In dense cover, identifying friend from foe becomes harder, raising the cost of mistakes.
Jungle fighting compresses the fight, contacts stack close together, and clarity collapses fast.
Sometimes the biggest gun is the wrong tool, when the battlefield gives you no space to use it.
In tight terrain, the effects of firing can be amplified. Another reason the jungle doctrine demands caution.
Smoke can hide movement, but it also blinds. Sometimes the jungle already does that for free.
Indirect effects are magnified in the jungle. Shock, confusion, and blocked movement spread quickly.
Water changes everything. Traction, corrosion, comfort, and the time it takes to do basic tasks. The jungle remembers sound. Movement leaves clues that patient observers can follow.
Endurance becomes a limiting factor. Mental focus fades faster in oppressive heat and wetness.
If there's only one route, the enemy can predict you, because the terrain makes the schedule.
Clearings offer space to breathe and perfect edges for concealment.
Tanks can still matter in jungles, but only when integrated tightly with the rest of the force.
Route preparation becomes combat power, because mobility is survival. Overhead concealment helps, but it takes time, and time is precious. In jungle warfare, progress is measured in meters, not kilometers. Cover can feel safe, until signatures on the ground tell the real story. Delays compound. Every pause increases risk, fatigue, and exposure.
Jungle terrain sets the speed limit, and it's usually a crawl.
Thick armor matters, but in the jungle, threats exploit angles and proximity that armor wasn't built to face alone.
Open space is rare, but it can be a spotlight. Visibility improves while exposure spikes.
Jungle operations leave a mark. Constant cleaning and repair become part of the mission.
Jungle doctrine starts with one truth. Armor is constrained, and constraints define outcomes.
Tanks can provide protection and support, but only when movement is cautious and teamwork is disciplined. Speed, isolation, and overconfidence fail quickly because the jungle punishes shortcuts. In jungle warfare, the route is the battlefield because it decides where you can go and where you can't. Every day begins again with the same challenge. Move without being seen, and survive what you can't see.
Jungle terrain limits movement, turning tanks into slow, predictable shapes in narrow corridors.
Visibility collapses. Short ranges and broken sightlines make ambush the default.
Logistics strain grows. Fuel and repairs become harder, slower, and more exposed.
The environment attacks the humans inside the machine. Fatigue becomes a tactical factor.
Jungle warfare doesn't just hide threats, it hides the future, 1 meter at a time.
In the jungle, tanks aren't kings. They're one tool, effective only when the entire force moves, scouts, and survives together under the canopy.